Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope all of you are doing well. My name is Jay. I'm a former cruise ship employee turned cruise enthusiast and travel blogger here on YouTube. Today we are visiting the very beautiful, very popular island of Cozumel. So this is home to a lot of things. People come here to scuba dive, they come here to check out the Mexican tequila, they come here to do a lot of fun stuff. So for today's video, I'm gonna show you guys around the island, some touristy stuff, some things that are not so much for tourists, and I'll also show you things that will cater to both the cruise ship passengers that have a limited amount of time here on the island, and as well as those that may be staying here for a night or maybe a couple other nights. But before we go into all of that, guys, there's a couple of things that I wanna break down in particular about this island. So right now, we're currently in the heart of Cozumel. This is downtown San Miguel. Now, if you're coming here on a cruise ship, for example, you might have to come from the international port, which means you will not be porting right here smack dab in the middle of San Miguel. You will unfortunately have to take a taxi ride. But thankfully, here in Cozumel, the taxis are relatively cheap. It'll run you anywhere as far as USD, $5 to $8 for a ride over in this area. However, if you're coming on a ferry or if you're coming from a cruise line, let's say like NCL or a Carnival, you will be in the middle of downtown, usually over by the Hooters, which we'll go over there later and you guys can check it out. Now, the thing about this area over here is there is a lot of things to see and do. There's restaurants, there's gift shops, there's plenty of things to buy, as you guys can see right over here. If you want to check it out, you can come over here, and the stuff is thankfully pretty affordable. But one problem that I have seen over here is that the people that are owning these shops and that are working here tend to be a little pushy. Now, personally, as somebody that's been all over the Caribbean, into a bunch of islands, of course, this isn't the most pushiest place that I've been to. Typically, it's usually like a Jamaica or something of that nature where the people that are trying to sell you something will follow you. We don't have that problem here. And another thing that I also want to point out and kind of debunk, a lot of people see Mexico as potentially a dangerous place. It is a fact that the island of Cozumel is known for very, very low crime. As long as you follow common sense and not do anything crazy out here, you're going to be fine no matter where you go on the island. I've been here at night, I've been here for days on end, and I can tell you right now, it's a very safe place. So for those of you that may be coming over here for the first time, do not worry, just have fun and enjoy yourself. By the way, I know there's something a lot of people are probably curious about. The first thing would, of course, be the mask. What is the masking policy here in Cozumel? Well, technically, as of right now, you should be masked at all times, even outside. However, due to the fact that there's no cruise ships in port, there's one coming a week and they are carrying a fraction of what they normally would carry as far as passenger capacity. And on top of that, there are not a lot of tourists out here. The police and the authorities out here aren't really enforcing the mask policy. However, on a day I've noticed when the cruise ship is in port, the cruise lines and everybody else are enforcing it a little bit more. Now, also, there is unfortunately a 10:30 p.m. curfew out here. There are some restaurants and bars that push it to about 11, but that's the idea right now. And I do believe for the next couple of weeks, it'll probably stick around for a little bit longer. But honestly, I'm hoping that that gets eased up pretty soon, seeing as how things are starting to somewhat go back to normal. So just for clarification, when it comes to masking over here in Cozumel, Mexico, you do have to wear your mask when you are, for example, in a taxi, going to a restaurant, at least upon entry, and then when it comes to bars and stores. Those are the only places where I've seen these actually enforce it. But as far as being outside, for the most part, nobody will really bother you. But keep in mind, this is on a day where there's really no tourism going on. Like I said, if there's a cruise ship in port, or if there is a ton of people coming in from the ferries with the Ultramar and whatnot, the cruise port, then yeah, there'd be a situation where, of course, they would be enforcing the mask mandate. So for any of you travelers out there that maybe want to come to Cozumel, not just as a cruiser for a couple hours, maybe you want to come here for a day or a couple days or a week or a couple months, the perfect way to get over here is through the ferry called the Ultramar here to my left, and over to my right, we have the Windjet. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I get it confused every now and then. For those of you that have been to Europe, they got another airline over there called EasyJet. They got the same color scheme. Maybe they're affiliated, probably not. But anyway, guys, you can get over here pretty cheap from the mainland Playa del Carmen. And let's say you're coming in from Cancun, it'll cost you about $15 a person to come over and visit the island. So what you do is, there's a bus called the ADO or the ADO, however they pronounce it. It's about $6 to go from Cancun, central downtown Cancun, over to Playa del Carmen. From there, you'll take the Ultramar. It's about $10 to take the Ultramar from Playa del Carmen and then come over here. After that, you're set. You're placed right in the heart of downtown San Miguel, and you can have a good time. Now, one thing about this port is that there is a high police presence, high military presence, as you can see behind me. By the way, this gear they got on looks pretty good. I mean, if it wasn't so hot, I'd be down to try that stuff on myself, maybe without the gun. But either way, guys, just know that as soon as you come here to Cozumel, you're going to be safe, you're going to be secure, and you're going to have a really good time, great experience while you're out here. Now, we're going to go ahead and move on and get to the fun stuff. Typically, when I come over here to Cozumel, the first thing I like to do is get some transportation. So let's go ahead and get a car. So getting a rental car in Cozumel is not complicated at all. There are locations literally all over the place. Find one you're comfortable with, sign your paperwork, get in the car, and just like that, you're good to go. Hello! Alright guys, so we were able to put the e-brake up. So we got this Jeep here. It was 50 bucks for the entire day. However, we did pay an additional $20 for the insurance package, and things have gone well overall. So typically when I go to Cozumel, I like to get a car. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Jeep. You can go with a cheaper option, like of course a moped or a punch buggy, anything of that nature, but this is probably the highest you'd pay, 50 bucks for the day. But the mopeds will run you about $20, and if you want a smaller car, you can get it for about $30 for the whole day. So not bad. We're gonna explore the island. I'm gonna show you guys some really cool places to visit while you're here in Cozumel. Okay, so I know full well some of you out there may not want an older and potentially sketchier car when it comes to your rental. However, to me, it's just part of the character of the island. But if you do want a newer car, you do have your typical renter options at the airport like Eurocar, so on and so forth. However, just understand that you are going to be paying a premium price. So it's important to note that driving around the island of Cozumel is not complicated. It is similar to how you would drive in the US, the UK, or some other developed country. The only difference is that there are mopeds and slower vehicles literally everywhere. Typically they stay to the right, and if you're driving a faster vehicle, you stay over to the left. That way you don't hit them. And if you are driving a moped, you would stay out of the way of the cars. That way you do not get hit. Now, if you are driving a car, the best part about Cozumel is that you can circle around the entire island in about an hour and a half. And along the way, there are plenty of beautiful things to see. First on our list, we did stop by the Mayan bee sanctuary. So this was a stingless bee tour. It was about $8 a person to get in, relatively cheap. They take you on a 45-minute bee tour. They show you all the different types of bees that they have here on the island. They also take you through a little bit of the agricultural history over in Mexico. Full disclosure, by the way, if you have like a bee phobia or fear of bees, something of that nature, this is not the place for you because you do get up close and personal with 3 species of bees. Now, like I said, they are stingless, completely harmless. However, if you have a fear, this may not be something you want to do. Now, throughout the tour as well, like I said, it's a cool experience for anybody that wants to join in, really regardless of the age. It's a little bit more laxed up. Also, toward the end of the tour, you do get to check out the honey. You even get to taste it. Personally, I really liked it. It was different than your typical honey bee honey. However, it was delicious, and we were able to buy a bottle. They have it available for purchase even after the tour. All right. Stop 1, done. Now we gotta get out of here. We're running a little late. We're going scuba diving, and it's our first time. I'm so excited. So for my first diving experience, I decided to go with a small intimate dive shop known as SCUBA. It's located right next to this gem of a bar known as No Name Bar. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the video. Now, upon arrival to the dive shop, this place seemed legitimate and their prices were reasonable. It was 80 bucks a person for what they call their introductory diving course. Now, of course, before that, you have to sign a liability waiver because there is risk to doing stuff like this. After that, we do get to meet the instructor Juan, and he was absolutely amazing. He broke down everything step by step. He taught you the acronym for SCUBA, which was something I didn't really know about, to be honest with you. I thought it was just a word. And then from there, he talked about all the things that you would need to know when it comes to diving. Like, for example, he talks about what to do should, let's say, your breathing apparatus comes out of your mouth while you're down in the water, or if you get salt water in your eyes as well. From there, we get more of like a hands-on course as far as scuba diving in some shallow water. That way you're not afraid. After that, it's time to go diving. Now, I've wanted to go scuba diving since I was a little kid, and it turned out to be everything that I thought it would be. You were literally in another world. I wasn't afraid. However, the people that were with me, my girlfriend included, had a little bit of trouble just kind of getting the hang of things and just understanding that you can breathe underwater. It's something that isn't exactly second nature. But once you get the hang of things, you can have the most amazing time ever. I'll tell you right now, moving forward, I am definitely coming back over here and getting certified ASAP. Next up, we got the famous Mr. SANCHO'S. Now, this place is extremely popular amongst cruise ship passengers for obvious reasons. There's an unlimited amount of things to do. You can go over and hang by the pool. You can get some great food. You can check out the beach. You can get your hair braided. You can even get a massage if that's something you're into. That particular day when I went over to Mr. SANCHO'S, I decided to go jet skiing. That's something I honestly love doing no matter where I'm at, especially over in the Caribbean. When I went to Mr. SANCHO'S, the water was absolutely beautiful that day, and I just had a great time. So jet skiing was a lot of fun. Not gonna lie, for Mr. SANCHO'S, this is my first time doing some jet skiing over in this particular area. A little steep on the price. Now given I got here at around, at the time of this recording, about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they closed at about 5 o'clock. So they kind of pushed me up on the price. It was $70 for 30 minutes. Now typically when I go jet skiing, whether it be over here or anywhere else in the Caribbean for that matter, typically I try to pay about 30 to 40 bucks for 30 to 45 minutes. To me, 70 is a little bit overpriced. Anyway, guys, this place needs no introduction. Mr. SANCHO'S is an extremely popular spot over here, especially for cruisers right here in Cozumel, Mexico. People come here, they can go get a massage like I showed you. There's an aquatic park. You can get amazing drinks out here and literally just relax all day long without going anywhere. Personally, I like kind of having an adventure when I'm over and I'm traveling somewhere, especially in a cruise port, but still not a bad location. Now, if anybody has ever been to Mr. SANCHO'S, let me know in the comment section below and let me know what activity you love doing most. Now, just to be clear, Mr. SANCHO'S is not a resort, so you won't see people staying over here days on end. Well, maybe you will. I know a lot of people tend to fall asleep in these lounge chairs and they don't wake up for a while. But anyway, that's beside the point. So what you can do here, you got two options. You can do the all-inclusive package, which as you can see the prices here, you got $60 USD for an adult, $40 for a teen, $35 for a kid. And then if you want to do the extra activities like the water park over like I showed you guys, then you'll pay an additional $12. However, if you want to come here just for a drink or just some food, they also do a la carte. Now, I could do a whole tour dedicated to Mr. SANCHO'S and it would be a lot of fun, but I'll do that on another day. We got a lot more to see, so just follow me. So right now we're currently at the Punta Lagosta cruise port, aka the downtown cruise port. You got two cruise ports over here in Cozumel, Mexico. You got the downtown cruise port and you have the Punta Maya, aka the international cruise port, a couple miles down the road. And let's say if you're sailing on a Royal Caribbean or Celebrity Cruise Lines, you would go over there. If you're on a smaller ship, maybe with NCL or Carnival, you would end up right over here. Now, typically, we'll walk around here for a little bit. Usually, this place is pretty packed with a ton of people. There's people that are offering scooter rentals, that are offering ice cream, jewelry, everything you could imagine over here. But now, as you can see, due to the pandemic, it's pretty much abandoned. There's a couple shops. There's a Sunglass Hut that's open right now, but we'll walk around. Everything else is closed at the moment. We got Starbucks closed. We'll walk around over here. We got Hooters over on this end closed as well. Not a lot of people. Security is kind of strict over in this area, so I can't walk around and do too much. I went upstairs yesterday and I got kicked out, so we're not gonna go up there today. But there's nothing going on up there. All the stores up there are closed as well. Hooters only opens in the evening time, if you guys haven't been over there already. Then we also go, if we walk around this way, more closed down stores, unfortunately. However, one thing I know a lot of people are excited about over in this area, they are going to be opening a Senior Frogs. We're gonna walk over there right now. So as of right now, the only open Senior Frogs is over on the mainland, Playa del Carmen. If you haven't been to Senior Frogs, I think it's something everybody should do. Really a tourist idea of something to do. However, it's a fun time. I think everybody that goes to Senior Frogs, you have a good time, you get drunk, you get some shots, you just have fun. It's again, touristy, but it's a lot of fun. Now anyway, if you keep on walking over here, we got the sign. They're currently constructing Senior Frogs and they're working on it. I'm assuming they're gonna be up sometime in the not so distant future, probably by the time cruising actually ramps back up. At the time you're recording today, it is June 26th. We do have the first cruise ship ever, Celebrity Edge, leaving the US for the very first time. So they will be over here next Wednesday, which is really good news. At some point, I'm assuming more cruise lines are gonna come over this way and we can get back to some idea of normal. Now here, come on over here. Give you guys a little sneak peek. Now, during some operating hours, they do allow people to go in and go check out the gift shop and whatnot, but the restaurant itself is not open as of yet. But either way, guys, whenever you actually are able to come over here to Cozumel, Mexico, make sure you check out Senior Frogs if you haven't already. It's something everybody should do at least once. So if you got a taste for some good reggae music, there's two Rasta bars over here on the southern part of the island. One is called Shantytown Rastas, and then directly across the street, the other one is called Rastas. Really cool spot, and like I said, you can get some good vibes out here. Good drinks, good music, and probably some other extracurricular activities, but I wouldn't know anything about that. Also over here, if you want to get a little bit more dangerous and have a little bit more experience, they also have a topless portion of the beach. Matter of fact, while I'm over here, I think I might just have to indulge. Nah, I'm just kidding. Either way, this is a cool part of the island. You guys, if you come over here, you should definitely check out this spot. Now next up, another place you absolutely got to check out is located on the eastern side of the island. It's a restaurant called Coconuts. Now over here they have good food, fun games that you can play. They've got parrots, which by the way you shouldn't touch because they can bite. I almost learned that lesson the hard way. They even got puppies that you can play with. I almost took this little guy home with me. The food's great, the view's great, and honestly I would recommend this place to legitimately anybody. They've also got a really interesting concept that kind of ties into the name. I won't tell you about it because I don't want to ruin the surprise. Now, something you need to know about the island of Cozumel is that the island is essentially divided into two sides. I'll explain in further detail in a second, but the main takeaway here is that the entire island isn't exactly completely developed for tourists. Meaning, not every beach you go to is going to look like it was cut out straight from a postcard. Some of them are just good for viewing points, maybe you can do a photo shoot, and typically around these areas you might find somebody with a coconut or a drink stand that you can get all types of tropical drinks. However, you don't want to swim in the water in some of these places because there are a lot of sharp rocks and a lot of dangerous things that could potentially harm you. Alright, so this right here is the east side of the island. You got the island essentially divided into two sides, the east and the west. The west side is where there is more so a touristy area. That's where you'll see the resorts. That's where you'll see, of course, the ferry, the cruise ship port, all that other stuff. This whole area that you see behind me, and for a couple miles down the road, you'll see a couple little bars here and there, but for the most part, all this is kind of like a wild area. You'll find a nice beach every now and then, but for the most part, you'll see a lot of algae, you'll see a lot of rocks. So essentially, you can come here, take pictures and whatnot, but as far as going to the beach and getting to the water, this isn't really the spot. So last but certainly not least, I gotta show you a gem of a bar that I've been coming to for the past couple years. This is No Name Bar. It's located right by the downtown cruise port. As soon as you get off, you just head over to the right. There's a supermarket and it's right across the street from that. Now this bar is particularly special because this bar is catered to the crew members that work on board cruise ships. So let's say if you are in port on one of your cruises and you happen to stop in Cozumel, make sure you come over here. You can get in touch with the crew members that are working on not just your ship, but all the other cruise ships that might be in port. Over here, the Wi-Fi is amazing. The food is amazing. There is a pool area as well as an open ocean pool. I don't really know what the concept is called, but I showed you this earlier for the scuba divers that are in training. They use it as well, but you can also jump in and swim too if you would like. This is a beautiful place that I would highly recommend anybody to check out. By the way, don't say I didn't warn you. Between the amazing and interesting crew members, the workers, the amazing Wi-Fi, and the relaxation area, you might just end up staying here all day. So to wrap up this video, guys, there are a million things you can do over here in Cozumel. I just gave you guys a couple of examples. However, when you come over here, like I said, endless supply of things to do. You can come out here, have a great time. And honestly, when it comes to cruisers, Cozumel is definitely one of my favorite destinations. And for people just traveling, let's say if you come here on the ferry, also going to be a good time. Now I'm going to wrap this video up, guys. On your way out, I hope you enjoy. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, along with the notification bell. That way you get notified when I post my regular videos. Also, I want to know, what is a fun place that you like to go to while you're visiting here in Cozumel? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'll see you very soon. Take it easy.